Hello friends, welcome back to this very channel. Today I'm going to deal with another topic of class 10th. It's footprints without feet. So it is a chapter from a book, Footprints Without Feet. It's a supplementary book. So this chapter tells us about a science concept, science fiction. Science fiction usually means a story which is based on science but an imaginary story, a story which is written through the imagination of the writer and based on scientific, we can say, concepts, based on scientific inventions and discoveries. So this kind of a story is now considered a different genre, so it comes under fictions. So now I'll tell you about the summary of this very chapter. So summary starts with an interesting story about a person, a scientist named Griffin, and he has just discovered, or we can say invented, a kind of a rare formula of invisibility. That means you might have seen the movie of, or you should see it, invisible for this very concept, Mr. India. It was a movie of Anil Kapoor where he had a watch where in that very movie he used to press a button in the watch and become invisible. In the same manner, invisibility here is being discovered, a kind of a drug is being discovered by Griffin, and what he did, he swallowed that very drug and became invisible. He invented a drug which made his body totally invisible because he swallowed it himself, and he didn't just go for experiment on anything, because usually scientists experiment first, but he just swallowed it and he became invisible. But at the same time, we need to keep in view different things, that if we get power, we need not to misuse it. Here, what happened? Griffin did that. He misused his power. How? Because when he was now invisible, he needed bandages and all kind of things to make himself visible. So because he don't have any antidote, or we can say anything, any new drug which can change him back to a physical form. So he became frustrated by the continuous nagging of the landlord, that because landlord wants to be paid, and he was completely nagging this very person. So what he did, Griffin, in order to take revenge of the landlord, what he did, he sneaked into the this house and just burn it down into ashes. So this was the first crime he committed. He burned the whole house into ashes and just ran away from there. He was totally nagged. He was, because if he would have wore something, he would have become visible. So he was nagged because he wanted to do this crime. So he was nagged at that very time. So he ran away from there. In order to survive, what he did, he broke into store. He broke into a kind of a store, departmental store, and dresses up and ends up stealing some cash. Now, as you will see, that if you do one crime, it leads to another. If you lie, you have to just lie 1,000 times to hide that first lie. So crime is in the same case, it needs more crime to hide the first one. So in order to save himself, he broke into the store. It was second crime, and he dressed up himself and stole cash from there. Now what he did, he runs from that very store, because in the morning, as he eats up and just sleeps, he dresses up. In the morning, he just when a person, watchman over there, opened the store, Griffin is being seen. So what he did, he just ran away and removed all the clothes so that he could become invisible. And while running, he reached a village known as Epping. It was a countryside of London or England. So he reached over there. Soon out of cash, because he had just stolen cash from store, and when he went over there, he just took a lodging into an inn, and a local inn, and over there, as soon he was out of cash because he spent all the money, and he was unable to pay the owner of that very inn. So the innkeeper, he just told him to give money, but Griffin was not paying attention. So he felt something suspicious. So he called the police, but while police was called, this Griffin, he began to run away, and he escaped. This Griffin escaped from that very place, and he just took all the clothes away, and nobody was able to catch him because he was invisible now. And he, at the last, it is said that he left only one thing: footprints without feet. That means there was no physical form which was making the footprints. For a time being, where there was mud or there was a kind of water or anywhere, there he has made footprints, but after that there was no footprint. So he vanished, becoming invisible. Now, a critical appreciation of this. First, I will tell you that this story is open-ended. So sometimes the question is being asked. That end of the story, what will happen to Griffin and how police will be able to catch him. So now, critical appreciation. The story highlights human nature, misusing her own inventions or discoveries. Look, it's human nature. Sometimes we fell to some pessimistic thoughts that if we invent something, we discover something, usually what we do, we use that very invention in a wrong direction. We don't have control on ourselves, so we want a certain benefit. That's why we use that invention or discovery in a wrong sense. With great power comes great responsibility. It's obvious. As you will grow in power, you will have more responsibilities. But it is here where Griffin falls into life of mischief and trouble. Because look, why trouble? Because he was now invisible man. It could have been sense of proudness for him. But the thing is that he fell into mischief. Now he had to run away. He had to hide himself. He was not able to wear clothes because he will become visible and police will catch him. So he was always in trouble now after doing any kind of problem. So there is a kind of a phrase which came into my mind, that power corrupts men and absolute power corrupts. It's just this portrayed by a great historian, and it's portrayed in one of the novel of George Orwell, Animal Farm as well. So power corrupts men and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That means if a man is dishonest, if he will get some power, it will corrupt him. But if he'll get more power, he will be more corrupted. That means as he will assume power in his life, he will become more dishonest. It is said that one crime leads to another, as it happened with Griffin. As I told you earlier, that if you lie for something, you have to just speak thousands of lies to just hide that one lie. Same is the case with Griffin. He had to do all kind of crimes to just hide his first crime. That means not only hide, he has to save himself, so he kept on doing crimes. The misuse of inventions and discoveries can make a brilliant scientist like Griffin a monster or threatening lawless person. Because look, a scientist, he or she needs a kind of a calm mind after going through any kind of invention or discovery. He needs that calmness of mind of not misusing it. But what this Griffin could have changed it. Griffin could have done a lot for the welfare of the society, but he chose the wrong path. He used it for mischiefs. And ultimately he fell into the world of crime, and he became a criminal. The writer of this science fiction is a well-known writer and is often called as father of science fiction. So it is Wells, H.G. Wells, who is the writer of this very story. I'll tell you, it is H.G. Wells, who is the writer of this very story. And what he is considered as father of science fiction. That means he gave the concept of science fiction with two or more than two writers. Usually this person has main contribution in just introducing science fiction to literature. So he is considered as father of science fiction as well. So I have just completed all the points. If any doubt will be there, you can consult me. So that was all in this very video. Hope you liked it. Thank you very much.